The CIBO this morning said, this was not a full dispersion unwind, or the correlation trade, is not fully unwound. And I don't have a problem with that statement. I mean, they're obviously very smart people over there. But this is 1 month correlation, as you can see here, right? We had this big pop in correlation, which coincided with the spike in vol. So for this correlation trade, which hit all-time lows, this is Core 1M forward-looking correlation from the CIBO. This trade unwound and wound with vol spiking. We're still like relatively pretty low, right, in terms of history. So there's plenty more for correlation to increase, which would tell us that stocks would start acting more in conjunction with each other. And I think that's going to happen. And the reason is because I think the trade that everyone's going to focus now is the macro side of things, which is like, hey, do I need to allocate to bonds now because rates are shifting and recessions are picking up? As opposed to before, we were like, do I own semis or do I go into small caps? Like, which equity sector is going to lead me to salvation, right? Now it's not that same trade. And so I think correlation is going to continue to go up over these next couple of weeks. The hook there would obviously be if NVIDIA just murders it and does like, a huge earnings on the 27th, and we don't seem like we're going into a recession. If we do get more recessionary indications, then I don't know that NVIDIA can save us by itself. Related to this, I just want to show my final slide of this whole spiel here. And it kind of backs this idea of what matters now. This is a very short glimpse of the 60-40 trade, which is long equities versus bonds. And you could see that the spiders are down 4% over this August spasm. And meanwhile, TLTs were up 4%. So that's a crude way of showing 60-40 portfolio actually did okay. So if a recession hits and you think rates are going to come down because of that, bonds are likely to protect you now, and you get decent yield, as opposed to equities may not perform that well, which means that, hey, I don't care about NVIDIA or small caps so much, that argument, because I need to be in bonds. And so that is the rough idea of what I think is going to happen and why I think that correlation, is going to continue to increase over the coming days and weeks and months, particularly with who knows what presidential policies may come in because it's a more contested election. Trump means one thing for the market, and what sectors may do better than, Kamala and whatever she represents. So, there's a lot more macro stuff here as opposed to believing, hey, rates are stable, we just got to own AI because it is like the trade. That is the momentum